walk through you guys on some of the use cases. We had a lot of tools, a lot of dependencies, a lot of data. When we looked at this problem and tried to solve for why we couldn't reduce the MTTR, or root cause analysis, to be greater than 2 hours and sometimes 2 days, it was obvious. The systems that we were using, they had limited capabilities. The data that we had from many different tools were not easily correlated across silos. So we needed to find a universal data tool that can really help us with log metrics, traces, events, and beyond, because there's a lot of custom data that describes other data sets from asset management to IT management, and even custom developed tools. Once we had an understanding of all the different data sets that we use for observability, we needed to also make sure that the scale at which it can handle petabytes of data a day needed a platform that can perform at that speed and scale. With that data in one place, we also needed the ability to correlate and correlate the data so the users can massage, simplify, and tailor the data for all the different use cases now that we have it in one place. So being able to get that data into a place, scale it, and also access it and massage and correlate that information so we can transform it to give us the insights we needed at that speed was another requirement. There's a lot of the things that we're looking at in the future state of being able to take that data and share it back with our organization using very low cost, easy scale things like Iceberg and Apache. So that way the data doesn't have to leave our company. But that's a future requirement that we're looking into with Observe. Current state, as we described, many tools for all the different traditional monitoring tools that you're used to, with proprietary data agents, with all the different languages our teams, the DevOps, SREs are developing on all the different silos and data sets. We had to get away from that. We needed to move to something that scaled, that transformed, standardized, and give us that power back to streamline. We don't want our developers, SRE teams, to have to run books that go across 7 different tools just so they can understand what the insights they need to troubleshoot. We wanted to simplify, and that brought Observe to the table, giving us one tool, one platform, one language, one data store to be able to do all those in one place and provide that to all the different teams, not just from a developer, but also network teams to application to SRE teams, and also leadership teams to be able to see their high level values as an organization. Let's talk about the current state that I mentioned previously. This is a picture, detailed information. This may look very similar to a lot of small, medium, large organizations. You have executive, you have technical operations centers, you have SRE teams, you have application developer, you may have networking. Your application is deployed in a full stack, and you have teams across your organizations that rely on the same data. What you see in the middle are really the application log, the metric, custom built dependency, doing lineage, weird things that your organizations have taken the data and created observability in their own nature to solve a very similar problem. But they're creating in their own silos. What we need to do is take the cloud config data. We need to take the network, the application, the telemetry data, all the other data that we have in ITSM, ITAM information that describe the information, the assets, and bring it all together. Once you have that, then this picture becomes much more efficient. Your users are going to one place. Your runbooks are standardized if all the data are normalized, and all the different silos can actually correlate together based on IP, time, users, configurations, network incidents. Now your teams can efficiently tackle any problem across all the layers in one platform. This is the current state that we're in, and what we're trying to reach to is to simplify, standardize, and ultimately change our enterprise to be more efficient and manage the data better. This is the future part that we want to take with all the data that we have. How do we get even further with the mean time to resolution? Detection is not a problem. Lots of good tools for that. Once you have the data, setting alarms, mobilizing to the problem, getting the teams together. But the real value is, can I transform my business and the IT together? And that's what we call the next slide that Artie would take you through, is how do we do that through customer journey? Because ultimately, seeing your system is great, but seeing your customer's experience and tracing it down to the actual technical systems and services and teams that are producing the critical root cause, that's really where the cost saving, going from 2 hours to 2 days down to 2 minutes or less.